Hi Pisces, I hope you guys are doing great today. We're going to pull the general energies for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the last 2 weeks of December. Before we get into this, I just want to let you guys know that I did put timestamps down below because I'm going to start with the astrology. So if you're not interested in hearing what's going on with the solar eclipse and all the other things that we have going on, you can fast forward and just to the tarot portion. And then also I'm going to add timestamps for the two love reads that I'm going to add on at the end. One for Pisces who are in a committed relationship and one for Pisces who are in a complicated situation. So the timestamps are going to be below. Also, down in the description box is a link to my booking site. If you guys are interested in a personal reading, I think I might have a couple of spots left for December. I'm really actually not sure at the moment. But please be sure to fill in all the information that's asked on the homepage in the white box, because I do ground all of my readings in your natal chart. So I look at your house placements and your nodal energies and your Lilith placement and all of that stuff, so that I can get the best read for you. I kind of combine the astrology with tarot, so it's important that I have that information. Okay, so let's talk about what's happening. I'm not going to get into everything that's happening, just the two really important things that I want to address. That the sun is going into Capricorn on the 21st. So let's think about what that means, okay? Because we're all going to be tapping into this Capricorn influence, all of us. So Capricorn wants tangible results. Capricorn knows what's feasible and what's not, and what's most comfortable to work within, as far as an established framework and known boundaries and limits, working towards a long-term goal, right? And it ends up being a really satisfying experience that way, because we end up getting a lot more done when we're working within the confines of a framework rather than all over the place. So this is important to know just heading in, because we're going to have a lot of heavy Capricorn influence, this hardworking influence. Now, let's go to the 26th, where we have this new moon solar eclipse in Capricorn happening. And depending on where you live, it's 26, it might be the 25th, depending on what part of the world you live in, but it's at 4 degrees and 7 minutes of Capricorn. And the effect of this can be felt for, I'm going to say, beyond the next 6 months for sure, after the actual date of the eclipse. So, this is a Saturn ruled. Right, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and we're going to be needing to look at areas that are going to be influenced, such as our public life, career, reputation, our achievements, our accountability, right? Kind of accountability do we take? These are all going to be a very strong focus for everyone. This eclipse is about new beginnings regarding all of these elements. In addition, though, Pisces, you guys are having it in your 11th house. And then, of course, any other Capricorn placements you might have in your chart, because Pisces is just, if it's your sun, it's just your ego consciousness, right? So you might be Pisces rising, moon, Venus. You might have it in any of your house placements. So definitely pull your chart and see, and especially if you have it in the first decan and a half. So that would be like the first, 1 to 15 degrees or so. You guys are going to be feeling it the strongest. But you're going to be feeling it in your 11th house. And the 11th house is about social groups and community and friendships and every aspect that you sort of socialize with. And I almost feel funny saying communities, because I feel like that's such an old-fashioned term. It's so sad, but a lot of us don't really engage fully with our outside community. So it really is your friendship circles, the people who you hang out with, like in work, or just the people who you consider kind of like your people. But you're really going to be looking at this. You're going to be looking at this, and there are going to be big changes that are happening in this area. Because you want to think about, what does the eclipse mean? This is a time for setting practical, attainable goals and working on developing maturity and a common sense within your personality, stronger than what you have right now. So maybe you're dealing with people who are not serving your highest good. You know, look at the habits of the people that are surrounding you. You know, are they, not that you should get rid of them, but I'm sensing a lot, Pisces, a lot of you are going to be making a lot of new connections, a lot of new connections over the next 6 months. You're going to be developing new friendships. You're going to be engaging with new, just a new group of people that are going to be more in alignment with what it is that you're going for in your life. So I think this is really beautiful. But this eclipse is, and it, by the way, it's a partial, okay? So this is a partial lunar eclipse. So it's not like anything brand new is going to happen. It's going to be a revisiting and a transformation of things that are there. So, which is really good. But this is about us focusing on concrete ways of developing self-discipline and self-mastery, and finding ways to give satisfying form to wishes, making commitments, and recognizing responsibilities, accepting that we're limited, and that ironically enough, some of those limitations do truly free us to explore deeper dimensions of our experience by offering us a secure foundation and nurturing our dreams in a realistic fashion. As Capricorn teaches us that recognizing our limitations actually frees us to focus on what matters. You know, where we are, who we are, and where we want to go. So with this is a very potent energy. So with this potent Capricorn energy of this eclipse, we have the chance to make important changes in our lives that'll benefit us way beyond this moon cycle. So for some of us, circumstances are such that we need to pay more attention to these matters. You know, flaws or holes in certain areas of your life that need addressing, you need to pay attention to that. You really do, because this is a time you're going to be prompt to either redo or start fresh, or something ends in order for something else to start anew. So we might be called to give something up in order to move forward into a new chapter of life. And even though that might be uncomfortable, it's going to be uncomfortable for a lot of us, right? It's important to allow the necessary surrender of it all in order to evolve. But what's really awesome about this is this eclipse point itself is aligned with Jupiter, and it forms a really beautiful trine to Uranus. And there's going to be a real sense of excitement and progress and growth, improvement, like a sense of relief in the process and release along with this new beginning now. So this is really great. But I really want you to think about this. We have Capricorn, which I just explained is a really hardworking archetype, right? Hardest one in the zodiac. So we have Capricorn there. Then we have Saturn, the great taskmaster. And then we have Pluto, the planet of transformation. And the thing is, Pluto pulls us into endings to create new beginnings, to serve our higher good. Pluto will never bring us down a path that does not ultimately serve us. You understand? So whatever's happening, whatever's changing, you're going to feel this squeezing. And that's natural and normal and appropriate for change, okay? The kind of change that's happening here. But what's really great is that even though Jupiter is in fall in Capricorn, it's still entirely helpful. Such a benefic planet. Jupiter is all about luck and expansion. Really. Was much happier in Sagittarius, at home in Sag, but now is in Capricorn, but still blessing us. But the thing is this, Jupiter is making us pick a door. Picture yourself in a room with a few open doors, and on the other side of each door is a certain aspect of your life that you might have a little sense of confliction in. You got to figure out which door you're going to shut, because you can't keep them all open. Jupiter will not let you. Okay, it's a matter of, if you choose not to engage in this energy and allow the change to happen, guys, I'm not kidding. You're going to feel a sense of restlessness. You're going to start to feel this very internal, calling that's inescapable. You're going to just start to feel very restless. So really engage with the changes that are happening and really go with it and pick a door. Pick a door to go through. Okay, major developments in the personal areas ruled by Capricorn, as I mentioned in your charts, are likely going to occur over the course of the next 3 to 6 months. But again, I just feel like these effects are going to last beyond, because it's going until July. This narrative of this Cancer Capricorn eclipse doesn't end until July of 2020. And then we go into Gemini and Sagittarius and that whole eclipse cycle. But dealing with this, those of you who've been watching me for a while, when I started my channel, whatever it was, like 6, 7, 8 months ago, whatever it was sort of around the beginning of when things started getting really kind of like sticky with this eclipse. And I gave you guys a couple of dates to think back and think about your life, you know. I'm going to give you even more, and there's a reason why. Okay, so for those of you who are old enough, I'm not going to give you the months because you're not going to remember the months anyway. But for those of you who are old enough, I want you to think back to 1981 to 1983. Okay? What was going on in your life? What kind of changes were going on? Then go back again, if you're old enough, to 1990 to 1992. What was going on? Then go back to 2000, 2002, and then 2009 to 2011. Those 4 2-year periods. Think back to what was going on in your life, if you can, if you remember, and think about the types of transformations that were going on. And remember that whatever was taken away, because there were changes in your life during that time, whatever was transformed, taken away, whatever, there was also a gift that was brought in. Okay? So now, the last time I mentioned dates, we were in the toughest part of the cycle. But now, this is where the gift comes. This is where we get the slice of pie for hanging in there. So I want you to think back to those cycles and think what was going on in your life. Not that it's going to be the same exact thing, of course not, but it's that same energy. It's the same eclipse axes at work here. Okay, so kind of cool to think about that stuff. All right, so let's get into pulling. We're going to pull a crowning energy for Pisces to see what's happening for these last 2 weeks of December. See what kind of energies we can get. Yeah, so Pisces, I mean, I feel like you're going to be really connecting with some people. I feel like some of you may even be moving and just involved in around a new community, a new group of people, you know. Yeah, maybe you're going to be changing jobs. You know, only because, you know, don't forget I did mention, you know, career, reputation, public life, accountability. That could really apply to so many different facets of life, and that's for everyone, okay? But you're really going to be feeling it the most out of all of the signs. You're going to be feeling it in that friendship sector, this, you know, the social groups, the, you know, any sort of community kind of engagement, anything like that. Let's see what we have. Seeing the true you. Very nice. I love this card. It's a really nice card. I mean, this is about getting in touch with somebody in your life, maybe unfairly, even without malice, judging you or assessing you or saying you need to fix this, that, or the other thing about yourself. Now, this is the thing. When people do this to us, we want to first listen to them to see if there isn't a valid point in it. Because the bottom line is, if somebody tells you, if you have brown hair and someone comes and tells you that you have purple and green hair, no matter how many times they tell you you have purple and green hair, you're not going to believe them. You're going to understand that this is seriously an issue with their sense of perception and their sight, right? When they look at you, right? Makes sense. So it's the same thing with anything else. So if someone is telling you that you are very much one way, you're not communicative enough, or you know, you're not expressive enough, or you're not whatever, right? Fill in the blank, whatever it is that they might be saying about you, to you. You want to first think: is there any foundation? Is it being said out of love and caring, out of concern, or is it being said because maybe they haven't healed their own issues yet? Maybe they have their own inner shame to work through, and they're looking at you through their own shame wound and their own sense of inadequacy, and there's some deflection there. All right, so this is just something to think about. This is also, though, where if there is any validity, if you're not taking care of yourself and you don't want to see this in somebody who's caring, is trying to tell, these are all things that you need to very much heed in this energy and think about if there's not some validity to it, because what you're being called to do with this is called direct perception, Pisces. And if you're not familiar with that, direct perception is really about the ability to recognize yourself, not only in the eyes of others, but from how you feel about yourself, how you experience yourself, and how you observe yourself with compassion and kindness, but from within. Do you love yourself? Like, truly love yourself. Are there parts of yourself that you're running from or you're hiding? And this energy is so, so supportive of you getting in touch with that and working through it. Because this really is an energy towards a radical empowerment that doesn't require perfection in order for you to realize, I mean, how incredible you are, not only lovable, and how much you have to offer. It's an empowerment based on the acceptance of all that you are, working with your strengths, tending to your weaknesses, though. Tending to your weaknesses, recognizing it. Don't let your ego get in the way of you being able to address your own weaknesses, and being loving, encouraging, and nurturing of all that you perceive in yourself. And as you go on this journey, you'll not only see your human self, but the eternal self within you. And I have to tell you, I know so many people I work with who've just really never tapped in to that part of themselves. They tend to live so externally, so on the outside, so needing the validation, you know? And I think most of us as human beings are like that. We're conditioned like that as children. I do think that. But then as we evolve, and depending on the types of experiences we're exposed to, and everybody's growth scale and level is very unique to their own experience, but if you're lucky, you come across this mindset and you realize that getting to know what's really inside of you is crucial to what happens exterior to you, what happens in your life. So it's really an unbelievably breathtaking experience that opens you up to a creative energy that really does flow very abundantly through you into life. It's very interesting how people start to become drawn to you. It's very, very interesting. So you're really being encouraged to do this work here. I really like it. And if you're getting confused about who you are and your motives or your actions based on what others are saying or how they are responding to you, step back. Step back. And in your quest to be a responsible person, right, and looking at all of this, you might be unintentionally taking on the feelings of others, making their reflections of you more than they are in truth. More often than not, reflections are more about the state of the reflector than what's being reflected, right? A lot of us know that. So let go of those external perceptions. Just don't worry about it. And this is why it's so important for you to really get to know you, so that if somebody comes along and says something, just be like, you have no idea what you're talking about, my friend. Take care. And that's it. But I like it. This is a very empowering energy. Ooh, yeah, I like it. I do. So we're going to use the Arcanum Tarot to get some general messages here. By the way, I'm filming this on my phone. If the quality is not perfecto, it's because I need the extra time. I have a Nikon Rebel camera, but it stops filming at 30 minutes. It's very frustrating, and I didn't know it when I bought it. And, on certain readings, I need more time, So this is what we do. We work it out. My Pisces, we work it out. We go with the flow. Okay. All right, so I'm going to be, giving explanations for relationship and career and family and friends, right? Because not everybody's in a relationship. Not everybody has a career. Everybody's kind of different. Okay. So foundation right now, 9 of Wands. Very interesting with the crowning that we got. 9 of Wands reversed. You're just very tired of defending yourself. You're very tired of defending yourself, Pisces. My goodness. Yep. All right, let's see what's crossing you. There's a 3 of Cups. That's a nice energy. 9 of Cups reverse is the crowning. Foundation is 9 of Swords. Okay, Knight of Pentacles is in the past. Trying to offer somebody something. The Star reverse is your future. Right now you are the Page of Wands. You're very ready for a new start. But the Hierophant is an external energy. You're afraid of a new start. How interesting is that? All right, so let's see what's happening. So yeah, the Knight of Wands is just about, you're just tired. You don't want to defend yourself anymore. There's a lack of willingness to move forward in something here. There really is. But you're being crossed with the 3 of Cups energy, which is the celebratory vibe. It's all about, you know, getting together and being happy in your heart space with your family and your friends and celebrating. So this is very interesting. So let's see what's going on here, because I feel like the situation is that of you just not wanting, again, you just not wanting to defend yourself anymore. You're just being like really done with that. Like you thought for a minute you might have some juice left in it in you to fight for, but then but you don't. When we have the Three of Cups energy. So I don't know. I mean, this is you partying. This is you having a good time. Okay, despite that. So we're going to pull some energies on that. And then we have the Nine of Cups reverse. This is, you know, crowning is you feeling like your wishes are just not happening for you right now, like what you really want. And I have to say this is, so this is either having to do with, if it's got to do with a person, this is like you want someone that you really want to have this wish fulfillment with, but it's just not happening. They're closed off to it, you're closed off to it, but yet you know that this person is really what you want, ultimately. But it's like you purposely closed yourself off to it, or they've closed themselves off to you. If this has to do with a job, as a crowning, this means that this job is just not going to bring you what it is that you're looking for. You're just not, it's just not doing it. Now, also, go back to the Nine of Wands reverse, by the way. If this has to do with a career, this is still you not wanting to defend yourself, to put yourself in a situation where you feel like you always have to explain something, where you're being questioned and second-guessed. You are not happy about it. You just don't want to do it anymore. But I feel like with the Three of Cups, you're not talking about it. It's like this feeling that you're having, but you're not telling anybody. And I feel like this with the relationship too. It's like you're going along with the flow because the holidays are coming. You know, I'm just feeling like, or, you know, you're going out and you're socializing with people and stuff. But yet underneath it all, you're feeling this need where you're always being pushed to defend yourself and you just really don't want to do it. But there's this sadness with the Nine of Cups reverse, because there's this situation that you really want, but it's just not going to be able to come to fruition. Yeah, and it's creating anxiety because it's the foundation. We have the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is a 3 a.m. card. Waking you up at 3 a.m., poking at you, this anxiety. This could also be depression. This could be thoughts just randomly hit you in, you know, during the day where you think you're like fine 1 minute and then something will just come by and hit you, and almost to the point of being overwhelming. Now, this could be because of something happening in the 3D, but this could also be this mental weight on your mind. You know, something that happened already in the past that you're just having a really hard time settling up with. You're having a really hard time, yeah. Because they do have in the past, you're the Knight of Pentacles here. You have the Knight of Pentacles. It's a core card, so because this could be you or this could be somebody external to you. But the Knight of Pentacles is all about, you know, being nervous, being a little trepidatious, but really wanting to just move forward with somebody in a very practical 3D kind of way. Talking about finances, talking about communication, mental, emotional, physical connection, all of these things that are necessary for any sort of relationship to move forward. If this has to do with a career, this has to do with you feeling very confident as you took on this job, or while you were in this job where it gave you, you know, ample money, and it was giving you ample satisfaction, and you felt relatively confident that you were going to be able to grow quite nicely, you know, on this path that you were on, for sure. But then we have in the near future the Star reverse, and the Star is all about healing, divine healing. So I'm getting that there's some sort of healing that's not going to happen, Pisces, unless something is addressed. So let's see what's going on with this. But I do feel like it must have something to do with this Nine of Wands reverse, with whatever or whoever the person or situation is that's making you feel like you need to, you know, like you really need to defend yourself all the time, because that's not a good feeling, for goodness sake, right? Let's see. But here you are. This represents you right now. Page of Wands. This is nice. You are fired up. You got fire in your belly. Like an excited little kid. You really are so ready to get a new start. You just are. Plain and simple, that's what this means. You want a new start. You don't want the cycles that have been happening in your life to keep repeating themselves. You're just over it. You really are. And you just want a new really beautiful start. But look what's happening though, Pisces. An external influence to you is the Hierophant reverse. And this is about you dealing with a person or a situation that goes against every fiber in your body, or at least your moral code and your moral compass and what you believe to be a solid set of values and strong integrity, okay? Because the Hierophant is about our faith, okay? But it's also what's socially acceptable, how we frame our morality, how we frame our everyday, what we understand as being the right way to be versus the wrong way to be. And this tells me that you're dealing with a person or a situation right now in your life that is just very not in alignment with what you stand for. And this is an external influence to you. Now let's talk about your fear position is the Two of Pentacles. Now, Two of Pentacles is needing to decide between two paths, practical paths. Right? Remember, pentacles are, it's earth energy, it's practical, it's how we do connection. So Pisces, you might be dealing with two people. You might be trying to figure out if you want to go back to someone, if you want to continue on a path with someone, if it has to do with relationship. If it's not two people, do you want to stay with this person, or do you want to go off on your own and end things? If it has to do with a career, this is you trying to decide, should I go down this path with my career or maybe change jobs altogether? But this is in your fear. This is creating this anxiety in you, I feel like, trying to figure out exactly. And I feel like in some moments you have great clarity, but it kind of cycles, where then you go back to not being quite as clear. And then the outcome, we have the Page of Pentacles reverse, which is you not having a new beginning. This is you not having the new beginning. So we have to see what really needs to be looked at here. Why wouldn't this new be? Because Pisces, this is the thing. The new beginning is going to happen anyway. Okay? It's going to be happening all around you. You want to engage in it. Otherwise, you really will be feeling this level of just incredible restlessness. It's going to be like a restlessness. It really will be. And these energies are really, really strong. I'm not just saying that, okay? They really are. So let's see. Obviously, we need more energies. Let's get some energies on this Nine of Wands, first of all. Let's call out the foundation. What the heck is that about? I have a feeling we'll get, and then everything will kind of fall into place from there. Nine of Wands reverse energy. Please give me some information. Nine of Wands reverse energy. Nine of Wands reverse. What does Pisces need to know? Okay. So this is why you were feeling the Nine of Wands reverse energy. So there was a very exciting new beginning, because the Ace of Wands is like a brand new, passionate beginning, okay? Oh, and there was a lot of growth. We have the Empress here. She is the mother of the zodiac, mother of the tarot, perpetually pregnant, right? Always growing, cultivating, nurturing, and birthing new things, and then she does it all over again. So it's about expansion. It's beautiful. Then we have the Three of Swords energy. So this is the card of pain. Now this can be a third-party situation. I have to say it can be, but it doesn't have to be. It could be this external thing to your relationship, whatever that would be. So it could be maybe your job got in the way, maybe family members got in the way, but it's about you or them making a choice over you, or you making a choice over them, where one of you felt betrayed. Because it really is, there's betrayal in this energy. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of pain. But in the reverse, it's much more positive in the reverse, because in the reverse it indicates that there's going to be some admittance and some truth coming out, and things are going to be laid out on the table, so at least healing can happen. So this is, the truth is coming out here. Truth coming out. Okay. Yeah. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles is, You know, it is the card of greed. It can, well, greed. It's more greed that's very dramatic in the reverse. It's more like miserly in the upright, Pisces. So this indicates that you might be holding your coin very close to the chest. You have what you need, and you're really not looking to share as far as your practical resources go. That's going to resonate with a number of you. Others of you, it's you holding your emotional pentacle energy close to the chest. You not wanting or be feeling willing to give much in the way of communication, not willing to give much in the way of intimacy, not willing to give much in the way of support, you know, even of emotional and mental support. You just really not wanting to do it. So I feel like something happened here, and even if you guys are trying to get through it, you're having a really hard time, because you're still holding very close to the chest, you know, the parts of you that you cherish, and you're not feeling very willing to give up any more of you to this person or this situation. Okay, so that is if it has to do with a relationship. If it had to do with a job, it was a brand new job, you saw a lot of promise for growth in this position, and then something happened where you almost felt, I'm going to say bamboozled. Again, I'm pulling out very dramatic words today, but it's where you felt like there was some sense of deceit or betrayal, and then you realize, all right, this is how they're going to play it. All right, you need your job. You can't just up and leave. So you're playing things very close, holding things very close to the chest. You're doing what you got to do, and that's it. Nothing more. So that does explain that energy. Okay. Let's see what's happening with this Nine of Cups reverse. Okay. So if this is a relationship, you had to get out of Dodge because you viewed this person as being too toxic for you, even if only for a time period. It is a minor arcana, so it doesn't have to be permanent, but this is you saying like, I really can't do this anymore. And the Eight of Cups also, the Eight of Cups, so there's so much disillusionment and disappointment, but there is a level of acceptance, and it's not like, oh, I got to get out of there because it's toxic. It's this level of acceptance, like, this is just never really like going to be able to work. You know, it's time for me to go onto better things for myself right now. There is this acceptance there. And then we have the Tower reverse. In the reverse, it only means that you had a really hard time with it mentally inside of you, because this is like increased anger, bitterness, betrayal, whatever it is, right? Yeah. So for sure, the Tower is the dismantling of something that you believed to be solid and true at one point, and in fact it was not as solid and true as you believed, and it ended up falling apart, and there's a lot of pain with that. There's a lot of pain, for sure. So, you know, the thing with the Tower energy, though, and I think this with all tarot, is nothing's an absolute if you have willing participants. So let's say, for example, if this had to do with your job, the Six of Swords energy, if you can't quit your job, I feel like, again, you're just going into this state of disconnect and like kind of stepping away and realizing how you put all your eggs in one basket, or with this position, or just really understanding the disillusionment and really trying to plot a plan to move in another direction, and understand that the whole thing needs to end. Or some of you could have gotten fired, right? It could be any of those things, because this is a general reading. But the bottom line here is, let's say somebody revisits this with you and says, okay, you know what? If we do A, B, and C differently, or if you do A, B, and C differently, you know, is there a way that we can work this out? Same thing with relationship, right? The key here is, though, with the Tower energy, it can never go back to what it was, ever. Whether it was a job, whether it was a relationship, a friendship, a family connection, you guys can't return to where it was, because that place was too unhealthy, and you're not meant to return to that. That was a stepping stone in a lesson that you needed to learn, but it's finished, okay? That cycle, whatever it is, it needs to go now, and there's no place for it in your life. So unless you're dealing with a person or a situation that has and if you have the desire, everybody has to have the desire, everybody has to be in the same mindset to build it, to rebuild it again. you know, roll up your sleeves and get to work. If not, then it's not going to be rebuilt, right? But I do want to say that because people look at that as very dire, and I know many situations where the Tower energy, I mean, things fell apart for sure, but then they were able to be rebuilt because everybody was on the same page wanting the same thing moving forward. So there's that, and I feel like I wouldn't feel right not mentioning that. All right, what are you feeling so anxious about? Oh my gosh, you're having a hard time getting in touch with your intuition, and Pisces, that is not comfortable for you. That is not comfortable for you. Okay, so for a relationship, Pisces, I feel like this person that you're dealing with, this is a tough one because they're the Emperor reverse, which is like the narcissist vibe. I'm going to say vibe because I'm not going to say the disorder. We can have any of those tendencies where you view them as being not very honest, where they deflect. There's a lot of gaslighting. There's a lot of, a lot of blaming, projection, deflection, all that unhealthy way of communicating, blaming you for stuff, not acting with a very strong moral compass here. They could have had a third-party situation going on for sure that could be indicated here. And the thing is, I feel like if this has to do with relationship, you so badly want this to work with this person. You so badly, because I feel like you can have this 10 of Pentacles with them, but yet they're this Emperor reverse, and it's your intuition is not being your friend right now in the reverse, Pisces. And normally, she's like, she's very with you. All the Pisces, you guys are the most intuitive sign. But it's reverse. You're also human beings, and sometimes as human beings, when we're very confused about something, our intuition just kind of gets lost in the muck of it all, right? It gets knotted up with everything else. So we're not even sure what to trust in our feeling space, right? And what to trust, what not to trust. But I feel like you're fighting with yourself, do you have facts that this person did something, or is this something that you are assuming happened? Is this a narrative that you're putting together in your head that's not based on facts? Because this can also cause this kind of energy as well, where you think they're doing something wrong and you want to have this path with them, but you're so afraid of them not being who you think they are, and then you end up creating this energy. I'm not saying you, but I'm saying this is just part of the human condition. That's something that's done. But if it's something that's based in facts, then I feel like, you really know that this person, you should not be with them, but yet they're like your 10 of Pentacle energy, right? You think about life with them, you think about doing things with them, you think back to when things were good, and it's really hard for you to accept that things are changing and things are different. Now, if this has to do with a job, I feel like this is second-guessing energy. This is second-guessing energy. Like you're not sure, do you have all the information? Is somebody actually being deceitful? Are you just thinking maybe they are? You're just not sure. You're just not sure, but it's not making you feel good, and you're very confused. And you have to figure out if you're not projecting some of your fears onto a situation where you're making a situation or a narrative something that it is not, based in reality. For example, if your partner's acting a little distant or whatever, and you automatically assume that maybe they're cheating on you or maybe they're entertaining somebody else. It's a very mundane example. It might be real for many of you, but I'm just saying that could certainly be like that kind of thing. With work, you feel like people are maybe, making plans and having meetings behind your back. You really aren't sure, but you think so, and then you think like somebody's going after your position, or that something is being sort of plotted against you, having to do with your position. You're just not sure, but this is what you're feeling, and you're kind of projecting these fears and creating this narrative. You want to make sure you're not doing that, okay? Because if it's not based in solid facts, you might be doing that, okay? Now, again, if it's facts, that's different. Yeah. It's the story with the Page of Pentacles. I hope that made sense to you. Sometimes I get messages and, like, honestly, they come out and I don't remember what I said. They come through so strong, though. It's like I feel it in my back. Page of Pentacles reverse is that outcome. What's happening there? So I feel like it's connected to the Star reverse. Okay. Four of Wands. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't have a new beginning if you feel like you're not going to have a strong foundation with the person. It's the end of a cycle. I like the Death card, though. We'll talk about it in a minute. And there's a willingness. You know what? I don't hate this energy. Pisces, I feel like... Okay. I mean, the Four of Wands reverse is about a lack of foundation right now. I mean, the fact that it's here and the fact that it's reversed just really does call for it to be illuminated. Why can't this foundation? Why is it reversed? Why can't this foundation happen exactly? And you need to really look at that and see, because we're energetic beings and we have free will, if it can't be flipped right side up. Like, what's the issue? Right? It's going to be different for all of you, obviously. But then we have the Death card, which I really like the Death card. Scorpio energy. This is about endings and beginnings. It's transformation. So as soon as the ending happens, that's when the beginning begins. Like literally at the same time. And it's with blessings nonetheless, even though it looks very scary. Very scary card. But, you know, this is typically blessed by Archangel Raphael, the luminary of the sun. I mean, there's a lot of blessing on the other side of this new beginning. And then we have the King of Wands. So I do feel like there is a lot of passion and potential here for this to work, for it to have a new beginning. But I'm just wondering, why is the healing then not happening? What's the story there? Judgment reverse is not forgiving. Who's not forgiving? Oh, man. Pisces, I don't know. Were you, like, really stuck in... Now, the energies can be flip-flop, by the way. This can be vice versa. Everything that I'm saying to you, by the way. But the Star reverse is healing not happening. Judgment reverse is forgiveness not happening. And the Hangman reverse is just being in kind of like this pause button. You press the pause button. And you're looking at everything and you're not making any moves at all. But you're ruminating over the fact that you're not healed and that you won't forgive them. So it's like, even if the energy is here for there to be this ending beginning and this passionate reconnection, it's like you're going to be stuck in this space where you're not going to allow it. And I'm wondering why. Why are you not going to allow it? And that's going to be different for all of you. Because if this Emperor reverse did you dirty and cheated on you and had babies with this one and that one and ended up being married and ended up being like, like a closet, drug addict, closet like wild gambler, you know what I mean? Nothing you really want to take on, leave it alone. You have every right to be hurt. You have every right to feel all of these things. Don't forgive and all of that. I mean, forgive for yourself and then let it go. You know what I mean? But this is not about a healing for them. You're going to heal for you, right? That's if you're dealing with that kind of thing. But if it's the kind of situation where there was just very poor communication and there was definitely just like this thing that happened that was a magnificent misunderstanding, Pisces, I hope you're not doing yourself a disservice by not revisiting this because of your own sense of, I don't know if it's ego, I want to say, or just digging your heels in a weird way. You want them to prove something to you or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, because I mean, the outcome energy does support something happening, but then in the future, in the near future, I have you just not biting here. So, yeah, that's that. Yeah, so this is definitely somebody who you really, really want in your heart, but you're using there is everything. Again, if this person really, really did you dirty, as I know a lot of you have been done dirty, I do try to read as many of the comments as I can, doing a lot of private readings and whatnot. I do know that that's the reality for many of you, but I also know for many of you, there are gross misunderstandings. So depending on what side of the fence you fall on, okay, apply the message as you see fit, right? Yeah. Okay. But I have a feeling that this situation is actually inciting you to want to like put the past behind you and want to meet new people and want to expose yourself to different things. And you're going to be trying new things. Some of you may even be moving. Some of you may even be starting this job with this in this eclipse season. And there goes that, you know, that eclipse really hitting that 11th house of yours as far as you making new connections and everything that I discussed before. So, you know, that makes sense for sure. Yeah. But let's see now. We're going to do the love reading. So we're first going to do Pisces, those of you who are in a committed relationship. Yeah, and, you know, and having to do with the general reading for those of you in career, you know, be really solid on if what you think is off and going wrong is real. And if it is, time to move yourself out of that. This doesn't have to be today, but, you know, really start looking at that. Sexual union. Pisces, very nice for those of you who are paired up. Honor the place in one another where you are one eternal soul, for there you will find true bliss. That's beautiful. Yeah. Honoring the place in each other where the other one lives. That's a really like deep, profound, beautiful connection of an energy, right? Very nice. Let's pull some Island Oracles, see what's happening here. Let's see what kind of messages we can get. Camera. Heartbroken. Keys on a ring. I got these for somebody before. Forget who. Okay, so for those of you who are in a committed relationship, I don't like these cards. Okay, because camera is all about, this is beautiful, okay? This is about reminiscing and learning from the past. So I feel like a lot of you are taking lessons that you've learned from your past and you're trying to apply it in this relationship, which is really good. But at the same time, I do feel like you are reminiscing about somebody from your past. Now this can also be remembering beautiful times of your past, depending on how long you've been together, right? Because this is all going to be different for everybody. So if you've been together a long time, this does indicate that you guys are looking back at the beautiful parts of your relationship, but you are definitely, there's a lot learning from the past being applied here, so I do like it. So we have heartbroken here, which is deeply hurt, sad, separation, feeling lost, grieving, mourning. And then we have keys on a ring, many options, decisions, unconventional, string along, one night stand. So I have a feeling that this may be from the past, Pisces. I do feel like for you guys that either one of two situations could be happening here. Either there was a time in your earlier relationship where you guys experienced this kind of cyclical energy where you broke up, you got back together, you broke up, got back together. So you had that heartbroken energy, and there was this idea of feeling like somebody was being strung along, where somebody had a one-night stand, or somebody thought somebody had a one-night stand, and it was just this very painful kind of energy that you guys had to deal with in your past. But you guys did make it through. Others of you, this can indicate that you guys are in a very bad place right now. Okay, I'm just going to say it like it is. Okay, and that's just how I'm going to read it. Okay, because it really can be both of those. But we have sexual union, honor the place in one another where you are one eternal soul, for there you will find true bliss. So I feel like if you guys are in a bad place, somebody has fallen off the path. For those of you who are in that space, because I do feel like this is a, you know, it's more than sex, right? Because it's about honoring the place in the eternal soul. So, but it's somebody going off the wrong path right now. Two of Cups. Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay, so there might be addiction at play somewhere in this dynamic. Alcohol, drugs, sex, food, shopping, money, low vibrational thinking could definitely be at play within this connection. But there is there's a lot of feeling here, but there's the end of a cycle. So you guys have hit the end of a cycle for sure within the relationship. Okay? Could be a short cycle, could be a long cycle, but there's this regeneration of not regeneration. There needs to be a new beginning within the dynamic of the relationship, because Ten of Swords is one sword at a time over time. One sword at a time over time over time. Okay, so there's a lot of pain here, but the Two of Cups energy is about really wanting to love each other, or wanting this, really wanting it. Really trying to be of a solid mindset and saying, you know what, I really, really want this with you, but we need to start over. We need to have this fresh, brand new, fresh beginning here. And we need to do it with temperance, but I don't get that the temperance is going to happen here because it's reversed. It's not going to happen right away. Temperance is an alchemical card. It's about this is what I need, this is what you need, this is what the relationship needs. And I feel like there's resistance to this, you know, but yet you guys are still there for each other. I mean, the Six of Pentacles is about being supportive of each other. So you're being supportive of each other, but yet you're not really giving each other ultimately deep down what you each need. There's an element missing of what you each need in this relationship. So I got to tell you, Pisces, I'm getting a bit of a surface vibe here. Okay? Where you guys are, you know, you're sharing your cups, you're doing your thing. But this is a deep energy. This is a deep energy. All right, okay. And before I go on, I'm going to tell you something that I'm just getting as well. So for some Pisces, it's that you were in a very heady, serious relationship where you had a lot of feelings for somebody and it ended. And that's the Ten of Swords energy. And now you're trying to give your cup to somebody else. And you're giving it all you're going through the motions, because you know you're supposed to be. You can't live in the past and all of that, right? But it's like almost like you're rushing into something. Like you're rushing into something, which is like the string along energy, the keys on a ring. Many options, stringing along. It's this ending and then you wanting to just jump right in and tell somebody, yeah, you know, we're going to work this out. We're going to have, you know, we're going to have what we need. We're going to do this relationship. We're going to do this, that, and the other thing. But yet there's a part of you that you are just not going to be willing to give a certain part of you to it because you know that this cycle is done. You're really not going to be willing to take a chance in this committed relationship. You're just not. You really want the sun, but I don't feel like you don't think that this person is. I feel like the sun energy is connected to the person with the Ten of Swords energy. The person that you ended a cycle with, Pisces, that you ended something with, they are your sun. And I feel like you're trying to busy yourself with somebody else. I feel like this is a complicated reading, and it's supposed to be the committed. I mean, I have to read what I get. We get the Wheel of Fortune, which is the Wheel of Fate, but then we have that next to the Devil. So I really get that your true heart is not with the person who is in front of you. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to come after me for this one. I know, but guys, I have to read what's here, okay? I have to read what's here. It's like you're not willing to take the chance with this person. You're not willing to create that alchemical process of giving them everything that they need, but you're not telling them. You're telling them that you have everything that you need, and you're trying to paint yourself as being like really like spot on with everything within the relationship. And I don't even feel like there's malice here. I really don't, actually. I just feel like this is you wanting to move on because of this heartbreak, you know, and the memories are plaguing you. But I feel like, Pisces, I got to tell you, I do feel like this is what I feel. I just do. And I feel like, yeah, you're going to have a sexual union with this person, but I feel like your mind is going to be with somebody else, and that's where the true bliss is going to be for you in your soul. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Pisces, please don't come after me for that one. I read what I get. I read what I get, you know. I read what I get. All right, now let's go to complicated. Okay. My goodness. Imagine all unwanted thoughts dissolving into light, creating room for new opportunities and possibilities for your life. Photograph, clock, coffee cup. So this is for those of you in a complicated situation. You're no contact. Things are not good right now. Meeting up, conversing, feeling uplifted. And we have a clock. Needs time, takes time, in cycles, time to heal, progress. Then we have photograph, looking at your photos, missing you, nostalgia, wanting to make new memories. Okay. Right now, I don't know, like now, is this the Pisces that... Pisces, are you leaving the committed relationship to go back to top? I don't know. Oh my gosh. I'm just confused. Okay. Okay. Let's pull some energies and see. Let's get some backstory here. So it's imaginable unwanted thoughts dissolving into light, creating room for new opportunities and possibilities for your life. That sounds like forgiveness to me. Knight of Cups, yes. Ooh, acknowledging where things were unfair. Knight of Cups is about wanting to give your heart in a new cycle. Justice reverse means you don't feel like things were very fair. This was you. You were offering your cup. They were offering you the cup. Things became unfair, and it went to a space where you didn't feel that you were going to be able to have a firm foundation with them. But the fact that the card is here tells me that you felt serious enough to actually want to marry them, want to end up with them. But something happened, and you're in the Seven of Pentacles with them. You still want to build with them. The Seven of Pentacles is about 4 is the world, 3 is the Trinity. It's putting these together to create this new start, this new cycle where you guys save together and you have this life together, and you're still feeling that these are the bookended energies here that you're still feeling. But something happened where you felt something was unfair enough where it challenged your foundation. And you felt very sad to walk away, where you weren't even recognizing the 2 cups still standing, the love that was still there, and you didn't feel like there could be healing. And it was very confusing for you, but you really do very much want this new start, and they want it with you. So Pisces, I feel like those of you who are in a complicated situation, you're going to be hearing from someone, or you're going to feel motivated to reach out to them. You guys are going to get back together. You're going to acknowledge that there's a need for healing, that there's a need for conversation. Feelings need to be expressed, things that were unfair, why the foundation could not be had. But this Ace of Pentacles is a beautiful new start in every practical 3D way. Moving together as a couple and figuring things out. And you know I love reversals, those of you who are watching me, because it highlights what needs focus. And as energetic human beings, we can turn these right side up. So I do like that. I feel like the complicated got a better read than the committed, which is interesting to me. But Pisces, thank you so much for joining me. Merry Christmas to you. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy New Year, though I will be seeing you before the New Year. Just enjoy the holiday season. Do something really fun and just wonderful for yourself. Really, my love to all of you. Until next time. Bye-bye.